conducting free online yoga training session, which everyone is eagerly waiting to start. Before starting the session, I take this privilege to welcome Overworked NSS Program Coordinator of Dr. NTR UHS and Training Session Convener, Yoga Dr. Banda Timani Garu. I'm very happy to invite Honorable Registrar of Dr. NTR UHS, Dr. Shankar Garu. Welcome you, sir. And NSS Chairman and Honorable Vice Chairman of Dr. NTR UHS, Dr. Shyama Prasad. And I would also welcome our Master Trainer, Dr. Srinivas Rao Garu, and Yoga Demonstrator Monica and Ms. Pulika for this August training session. Our NSS team would love to wish on behalf of the NSS cell, Dr. NTR UHS birthday wishes to Ms. Monica. God bless her with good health and fulfill all her wishes and provide more energy to do more yoga demonstration and teaching. Wishing you a very happy, joyful and blissful birthday, ma'am. As we all know that Dr. Srinivas Rao sir has enlightened us yesterday with some warm-up practices.
I think there is some communication problem from the side of Baji. So sorry for the inconvenience. So she was saying she wanted to welcome and wish. Today is a birthday of one of our demonstrator. I wish on behalf of NSSL Dr. NTR Health University to give her a good health and energy so that she can keep doing the demonstrations for the better health of the everyone. Wherever she goes, carries a positive energy. So I wish once again very happy birthday on behalf of NTR UHS and the family of NSS. So now I request Dr. Srinivas Garu to go ahead with the session. Sir, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to congratulate Dr. NTR Health University once more because of this great task that they have taken up on the occasion of International Yoga Day. I think this is the first time in the history of the country that a university has taken up such a fantastic task of inculcating the values of yoga to such a large number of families, because today if one person is going to learn yoga, he is going to spread it in his family. Yoga is an invaluable gift of ancient Indian tradition. It is an art and science for healthy living. The great sage Maharshi Patanjali systemized and codified the then existing yogic practices, its meaning and its related knowledge through Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Yoga provides a holistic approach to health and well-being and wider dissemination of information about the benefits of practicing yoga for the health of the world population. Yoga also brings harmony in all walks of life and thus is known for disease prevention, health promotion, and management of many lifestyle related disorders which are plaguing the world. So I think by this International Yoga Day, all of us will be ready to face the challenges which has been thrown at us by COVID-19. So before I start, I would like to start it with an invocation to Sage Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram munina patanjalim pranjalinanatosmi. because some of you were not present yesterday, we will do a brief revision of all that we did yesterday. We will start with the loosening practices. First, we will do the neck bending. Take a deep breath. Keep some space in between your feet.
Sir, I request one participant to stay on the side. Yes, thank you.
Now, forward, backward, slowly and steadily. Forward, backward, slowly and steadily. Forward and backward. Now we'll do the neck bending to the sides. First, we'll start with the right side. Left side. Right side. Again, back to the posture. Last time. Yeah. Now we will do the neck bending. While exhaling, move the head forward slowly and try to touch the chin. While inhaling, move as far as possible. Now we'll do neck rotation. Exhale, bend the head forward, trying to touch the chin to the chest. Inhale slowly, rotate the head clockwise in a circular motion. Exhale while coming down, do a full rotation. Then rotate the head in anti-clockwise direction. I request all of you also to do this, because yesterday, those of you who have watched, I think will be knowing how to do this. You can do it. Repeat it one more time. Do not overstay. Keep the shoulders relaxed and steady. Feel the stretch around the neck and loosening up of the joints and muscles of the neck. This can also be practiced while you are sitting on a chair. People with neck pain, practice gently. Now we'll do the next one. Keep the legs about 2 to 3 feet apart. Raise both the arms up to the chest level with palms facing each other. Keep them parallel. While exhaling, twist the body towards the left side so that the right palm touches the left shoulder. Come back with inhalation. While exhaling, twist the body towards the right side so that the left palm touches the right shoulder. Come back with inhalation. Yeah, you can do it one more time. Do slowly with the breathing. Come back to Samasthiti with your arms down. Next, inhale, lift your arms up at the shoulder level, palms facing downwards. Exhale, bend the knees and bring down your body to the squatting position. In the final position, both the arms and thighs should be parallel to the ground. Inhale and straighten the body. Exhale while bringing down the hands. Yeah, come back. Right. These were all the relaxing exercises for the joints, which we have to do to improve the microcirculation to all these joints. Now we shall come to the standing postures which we did yesterday. Tadasana, stand with the feet 2 inches apart. Interlock the fingers. and turn the wrist outwards. Now inhale and raise the arms up and bring them in line with the shoulders. Raise the heels off the floor and balance on the toes. If you are not able to hold your position, you can do this on a wall also, taking the support of a wall. Stay in this position about 10 to 15 seconds. Exhale and bring the heels down. Relax. Release the interlock of the fingers. Bring the arms down and parallel to the trunk and come back to the standing posture. Next, we will go to the next one. That is Vrikshasana. Vriksha means tree. Same, stand with the feet 2 inches apart. Focus on a point in front. Exhale, bend the right leg and place the foot on the inside of the left thigh. The heel should be touching the perineum. Inhale and extend the arms and join the palms. Stay in the position for 10 to 30 seconds and breathe normally. Exhale and bring the arms and right foot down. Do it for the opposite side. Same thing. Raise the heels, tuck it in the perineum. Stay for 10 to 12 seconds and come back. This improves the neuromuscular coordination. It improves balance, endurance, and alertness. It tones up the leg muscles and rejuvenates the ligaments also. Now we come to Padahastasana, the hands to feet posture. Same, stand with the feet 2 inches apart. Inhale slowly and raise the arms up. Stretch up the body from the waist. Exhale and bend forward until the trunk is parallel to the ground. Exhale and bend forward until the entire palm rests on the ground. Maintain this posture for 10 to 30 seconds. This is one of the postures which is good for back pain, because someone asked this. It's a very good posture for strengthening the back, lower back. Now inhale and come up slowly to the vertical position and stretch the arms above the head. Exhale and slowly return to the starting position in the reverse order. Next, we will do the Ardha Chakrasana. You can relax for some time because this causes severe stretch in the back. Now the Ardha Chakrasana. Support the back at the waist with all the fingers together, pointing forward or downward. You can look at Miss Monica, how she has put it. Drop the head backwards and stretching the neck muscles as you inhale. Bend backwards from the lumbar region. Exhale and relax. Stay here for 10 to 30 seconds with normal breathing. Inhale and slowly come up. See, a word of caution. These people are experts in yoga, so they are able to bend so much. But for you, you don't have to do the final posture. You do it slowly and regularly. Within 1 or 2 months, you'll be able to do as well as they are able to do it. Okay? But if you're having giddiness or any vertigo, then you better not do this posture because there's a chance that you will fall down. Okay? Now we'll do the Trikonasana. Stand with your feet comfortably apart. Slowly raise both the arms sideways till they are horizontal. Exhale. Slowly bend to the right side and place the right hand just behind the right foot. The left hand is straight up in line with the right arm. Turn the left palm forward. Turn your head, gaze at the tip of the left middle finger. So you can see here, if you are not able to take it up till this level, you can hold your foot. You don't have to do the final posture. See, she is able to hold it till the foot. You don't have to do this. You just can hold it here and look at this. Main thing is the stretch should be at the back. So the turn is at the back. Slowly exhale and come back to posture. You can repeat it on the opposite side. Same thing. Slowly blend to the opposite side. Raise the right hand just behind the left foot. Left arm is straight up in line with the. So it causes a stretch of the neck, the back, and all the muscles of the chest. It prevents flat foot, strengthens the calf muscles, thigh and waist muscles, makes the spine flexible, and also improves lung capacity. Yeah. Now come back to the normal posture. These were the postures that we did yesterday. Today, we will start with some more postures. Because like yesterday we did 2 more pranayamas, that we'll do in the end. Today we will start with the sitting postures. Please sit down. First, we will start with Dandasana. So, sit erect with the legs stretched out straight in front. Keep the hands beside the hips. You have to remember, don't place the strength of your hands. Don't place the weight of yourself on the hands. You should be sitting on your buttocks. This is Dandasana. This is the basic sitting pose. From this, we will go to the next pose, which is called Bhadrasana, the firm or auspicious posture. Put the soles of your feet together. Exhale and clasp your hands together over your toes. Pull your heels as close as possible to the perineum. That means your heel should be touching the perineal region. Remember, you may not be able to do that in the beginning, but you can do as much as you can and slowly improve it every day. If your thighs are not touching or you are not close to the floor, place a soft cushion underneath the knees for support. This is the final position. So you can see here, Maunika is almost touching the floor. But here she is not able to come up to the floor. She is putting it a little up. So you can put some pillows here and relax in that posture. Benefits are keeps the body firm and stabilizes the mind, keeps the knees and hips healthy, helps to relieve the knee pains, acts on the abdominal organs, and releases any tension in the abdomen. Benefits women by relieving abdominal pain often experienced during menstruation. Avoid this practice when you have severe arthritis or sciatica. So this is Bhadrasana. Now we shall come to Vajrasana. Sit in Visramasana. Visramasana is you just are relaxing with your hands behind and neck relaxed completely. This asana you can keep doing whenever you feel a little tired by doing the sitting postures. From this, you come to Dandasana. Dandasana is you are placing the hands by the side, back is straight. Now your back is straight, head is straight. Fold your legs and sit on your heels. Fold your legs and sit on your heels. Keep the thighs close and big toes should be touching. So you can see how Maunika is sitting. Your big toes are touching each other. Place the hands on the knees. Just look at how Bhumika is doing it. Place the hands on the knees. The head and the back should be straight. This is Vajrasana. This is an excellent posture for digestion. You can do this immediately after taking food also. You can sit on the bed for about 10 minutes after you take your food. This is very good asana. You can do this on a chair also in your office after your meals. Whether it's in the afternoon or night, you can sit in this posture for 10 minutes. It improves the circulation to the intestines. How, you may ask? See, when you are sitting in this posture, the blood supply to the lower part of the body, that is the legs, is compressed. So the blood circulates within the abdomen itself. It is not going to the peripheries. So this is very good for digestion. Now we come to the next posture, which is called Ardha Ustrasana. That is the half camel pose. Ustra means camel. The final version of this asana resembles the hump of a camel. In this version, only the first stage of the asana is being practiced. Stand on your knees. See, when they are standing on the knees, the back, head, and thighs are all 90 degrees to the floor. Place the hands on the waist with the fingers pointing downwards. Keep the elbows and shoulders parallel. Keep the elbows and shoulders parallel. So you can see the elbows and shoulders are parallel. Bend the head back and stretch the neck muscles. Inhale and bend the trunk backwards as much as possible. As you exhale, relax. Keep the thighs perpendicular to the ground. Remain in this posture for about 10 to 30 seconds with normal breathing. Return with inhalation and sit in Vajrasana. Relax in Vajrasana because this is a severe stretch to the back. It is preferable if you take some time to do the next posture. Remember, this posture is also very, very good for the back muscle. This is also relieves constipation and back pain, increases the blood circulation to the head and the cardiac region. So people who are hypertensive and it is not under control, they have to be careful when they do this. It is also better if people who are having hernia or abdominal injuries not to do this. Arthritis and pregnancy, please avoid doing all this asana. This is very good. It helps to relieve the constipation. Now we come to the next asana, which is called the Shashanka asana. Shashanka means hare. Hare means male rabbit. Okay. First, sit in Vajrasana. Spread both the knees wide apart. Spread both the knees wide apart. Keeping the big toes touching. Keep the palms between the knees. Keep the palms between the knees. Exhale and slowly stretch them full length. Exhale and slowly stretch them full length. Bend forward and place the chin on the ground. Bend forward and place the chin on the ground. Take slow, deep breaths. This is a wonderful, relaxing posture. Take slow, deep breaths. This is also called as Visrama Asana, where you are relaxing. Keep the arms parallel. Now look in front and maintain the posture. Just allow your chin to touch the floor and try to look forward. Look in front and maintain the posture. Inhale and come up. Exhale and come back to Vajrasana. Stretch your legs back to Visramasana. This asana is helpful to reduce stress, anger, and other negative emotions. It tones up the reproductive organs, relieves constipation, improves digestion, and relieves back pain. See, now they are doing Visramasana. So whenever you feel that you are having some stretches, see, whenever you are doing the asana, remember there is a difference between stretching your muscle and causing pain in the muscle. Stretching, there will be a sort of pain, but once the stretch is removed, that pain is disappearing. But if you are overstretching, then you will be causing damage. That will be causing pain, which will remain even after you come out of the posture. Please avoid this posture in case of acute backache. Patients with osteoarthritis of the knees should exercise with caution, or they have to avoid completely the Vajrasana. Now we come to a very important posture, which is very helpful for diabetics also. Vakrasana, the spinal twist posture. Vakra means twisted. In this asana, the spine is twisted, which has a rejuvenating effect on its functioning. So all the spinal nerves will be rejuvenated. So sit in Dandasana, bend the right leg and place the right foot beside the left knee. Bend the right leg and place the right foot beside the left knee. As you exhale, twist the body to the right. Bring the left arm around the right knee and clasp the big toe or place the palm beside the right foot. So you can see that Maunika, and you have to press the knee. Bring the left arm around the right knee. Take the right arm back and keep the palm on the ground with the back straight. Remain in this posture for 10 to 30 seconds with normal breathing and relax. Take out your hands with exhalation and relax. After relaxing for a few seconds, you have to repeat the same on the other side. So bend the opposite leg, place it on the opposite side of the knee. As you exhale, twist the body, bring the arm around the knee, clasp the right big toe or place the palm beside the right foot. Take the arm back and keep the palm on the ground with the back straight. Remain in this posture for 10 to 30 seconds by breathing normally. Relax. Take out your hands with exhalation and relax. Repeat if you want a few more times. The benefits is it increases the flexibility of the spine, helps to overcome constipation and dyspepsia also, stimulates the pancreas and helps in the management of diabetes. But remember, avoid this posture in case of severe back pain, vertebral and disc disorders, after abdominal surgery and during menstruation. So today we have completed the sitting postures, and as you must have seen, most of the sitting postures are to improve your digestive system, and they are helpful for strengthening the lower back muscles and also in improving the digestion and reducing dyspepsia. Now we will come to the pranayama. So in pranayama, yesterday we had done two pranayama. One was called the Brahmari pranayama and the other one was called Kapalabhati pranayama. So first we will do the Kapalabhati pranayama. Sit straight in a meditative posture. You can sit in Padmasana, or you can sit in Sukhasana, or you can sit on a chair, anywhere. Close the eyes and relax the whole body. Inhale deeply through both nostrils. Expand the chest. Expel the breath with forceful contraction of the abdominal muscles and relax. So you can see their expiration is forceful, inspiration is happening by itself. You can complete about 15 to 30 breaths, then take a deep breath and exhale slowly. This is one round of Kapalabhati. Because it is a revision, we will be doing only one round. Kapalbhati purifies the frontal air sinuses, helps to overcome cough disorders. It is useful in treating cold, rhinitis, sinusitis, asthma, and bronchial infections. It rejuvenates the whole body and keeps the face young and vibrant. It balances and strengthens the nervous system and tones up the digestive system. This is a very good pranayama during the COVID times. I'm telling you, for people who have recovered from COVID, also this is an excellent pranayama. You can teach this to everyone. It is both prophylactic as well as therapeutic. Next, we come to the Brahmari. This we finished yesterday. Sit in a meditative posture with eyes closed. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly in a controlled manner while making a deep, steady, humming sound such as that of a black bee. This is one round of Brahmari. You can continue like this for 5 rounds. But there is another type in which we do with the Shanmukhi Mudra. So we'll demonstrate that also. Sit in any meditative pose with eyes closed. Inhale deeply through the nose. Close the eyes with index fingers. Mouth with the ring and small fingers. And ears from respective thumbs, as you are seeing here. This is called the Shanmukhi Mudra. Inhale deeply and exhale in a controlled manner while making a steady, deep humming sound. You can continue like this for a few more rounds. The practice of Brahmari relieves stress and helps in elevating anxiety, anger, and hyperactivity. The resonance effect of humming sound creates a soothing effect on the mind and nervous system. It is a great tranquilizer. It is found to be very good in the management of stress-related disorders. It also helps to improve the nitrous oxide in the blood vessels which are supplying the lungs. This has been proved very clearly. So that's why this is also a very useful pranayama for people who are suffering from COVID. So you can teach this to people who are suffering from COVID, and also this is very good to prevent COVID. Now we come to another pranayama, Nadi Shodhana pranayama or Anuloma Viloma pranayama. That is alternate nostril breathing. The main characteristic feature of this pranayama is alternating breathing through the left and right nostrils without or with retention of the breath. Retention of the breath is called Kumbhaka. In the beginning, you don't have to do the Kumbhaka. You just inhale through one nostril and release through the other nostril. But after you get a little practice, you can do the Kumbhaka. Sthiti is any meditative posture. Technique. Keep the spine and head straight with the eyes closed. Relax the body with a few deep breaths. Take some few deep breaths. Keep the left palm on the left knee in Jnana Mudra. What is the Jnana Mudra? Here you are touching the thumb and index finger. You can see how Bhumika and Monica are doing. So left hand you keep it in Jnana Mudra. Right hand should be in Nasagra Mudra. Nasagra Mudra means place the ring and small fingers on the left nostril. Hold the middle and index fingers. Place the right thumb on the right nostril. So you can see how they are doing it. Place the ring and small fingers on the left nostril. Fold the middle and index finger. Place the right thumb on the right nostril. Breathe in from the left nostril. Then close the left nostril with the small and ring fingers and release the thumb from the right nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. Next, inhale through the same nostril through which you have exhaled. That is the right nostril. At the end of inhalation, close the right nostril and exhale through it. This complete process is one round of Nadi Shodhana or Anulom Viloma Pranayama. You can repeat it for 5 rounds. Place the ring. Breathe in from the left nostril. Close the left nostril with the small and ring fingers. Release the thumb from the right nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. So through opposite nostrils, you are inhaling and exhaling. What is the ratio of timing of inhalation and exhalation? For beginners, the duration of inhalation and exhalation will be equal, but gradually you try to make exhalation longer than inhalation. That means, suppose you are inhaling for a count of 5, you have to exhale for a count of 10. So slowly you will be improving your lung capacity. By taking in a deep breath and keeping it for some time, you will be improving your lung capacity. Breathing should be slow, steady, and controlled. It should not be forced or restricted in any way. The main purpose of this pranayama is to purify the principal channels, which are called nadis, which carry energy. Hence, this pranayama nourishes the whole body. It induces tranquility and helps to improve concentration. It increases vitality and lowers the stress and anxiety. It reduces cough disorders. So remember, most of this pranayama, because you are changing your respiratory pattern, your heartbeats also will change. That is called sinus arrhythmia. Or it is, in physiology, it is called heart rate variability. That means depending on your inspiration, the heart rate changes. This is very, very good to improve the health of the heart as well as to improve the level of oxygen to every cell of your body. Remember, though we are breathing oxygen from the atmosphere, it has to reach every cell in our body. It has to reach the mitochondria of every cell. Then only the person will be breathing normally. That is called internal respiration, whereas what we are taking from outside is called the external respiration. So this pranayama is very, very good for delivering oxygen at the tissues, at the cellular level to the mitochondria. We shall do the last pranayama today, which is called the Shitali pranayama. Sit in Padmasana or Sukhasana. Keep your hands on the knees in Jnana Mudra. Protrude the tongue and fold it like a tube. Draw in air through the mouth. Draw it slowly and deeply, fill the lungs completely till you feel the pressure of the diaphragm up to the navel area. Hold the breath as long as you can without any discomfort. Then exhale slowly through both the nostrils. Sit in Padmasana. Keep your hands on the knees in Jnana Mudra. Protrude the tongue out and fold it like a tube. Draw in air through the mouth. Draw it slowly and deeply. Fill the lungs completely till you feel the pressure of the diaphragm up to the navel level. Hold the breath as long as you can without any discomfort. Then exhale slowly through both the nostrils. You can do this for about 5 minutes every day. This is very, very useful for improving the vital capacity. Remember, all the pranayamas, if they are practiced correctly, will help to improve the health of your lungs. And because COVID is mainly affecting the lungs, these pranayamas are excellent preventive measures. So if we keep on doing this, though we get COVID, it will be mild. So this completes today's practice of postures and pranayama. Let us do a sankalpa. Let us commit ourselves to something. I will tell you, all should take this sankalpa. You repeat it after me. I will be telling it in a few words. You have to repeat it after me. I commit to make myself into a healthy, peaceful, joyful, and loving human being. Through every action of mine, I will strive to create a peaceful and loving atmosphere around me. I strive to break the limitations of who I am right now and include the entire world as my own. I recognize the kinship of my own life with every other life on this earth. I recognize the unity of all there is. So this is the sankalpa we have to take daily. So let us end with the prayer. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sah viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah. Thank you very much, Bhumika and Monica, and wishing Monica a very happy birthday once again. Yeah. Anyone has any doubts of today's postures can please ask.
With this, we are concluding our second day of yoga training session. Thanks everyone on behalf of.
Good evening all. So today's session we have finished. If any doubts, so we do have a 5 minutes time to close the session. Already we have answered in the beginning. So the session will start at sharp 6 o'clock every day up till 21st. And we are going to have a repetition of the previous day's exercise. Then we are going to adding on few of the extra exercises every day. So this is how the rotation will take place. So those people who were not attended yesterday, they can do it today and they can perform next day morning and they can come back to the evening session. So they will have a repetition of the exercises for them and they can perform better. And if you have any doubts, so you can ask us so that master trainer will answer your questions. So with this, I thank once again at the outset. I think Shravana Kirti is there, so she is hosting today's program. Amma, be louder and you can conclude. Sir, there are no more questions to answer. So I think there is one question from BV Harika. She says how to strengthen the lower back and abdomen.
Okay. See, abdominal muscle strengthening exercises we'll be telling tomorrow, because most of the sleeping postures as well as the prone postures are for the back as well as the abdominal muscles. Out of all the postures that you have completed till now, only one was for the abdominal muscle. That was the camel pose. Though we showed it as a half camel pose today, Ustrasana, Ardha Ustrasana we showed it today, isn't it? That is good for both the back as well as for the abdomen. But tomorrow you'll be having more postures for the abdomen. Okay. Back muscle, I told there were few muscles, few postures which were good for the back muscles today. Yesterday there was Padhastasana. Today I told you all the forward bends will be for the back muscle. Tomorrow I'll be including one more stretch for the back muscle, which you will be seeing that. Lower back. What I meant was lower back.
This we are
Thank you, sir.
concluding our second.
Shravani Kirti, you can be louder. Your voice is not audible.
Okay, sir. And this week we are concluding our second session. I thank everyone on behalf of entire NSS team for making it successful session. Stay safe, and we will be looking forward to the session again tomorrow at sharp 6 p.m. Thank you all.
So thank you very much for all the team and master trainer and demonstrators and all the participants making this session successful. And we are early to close the session. Thank you very much once again. See you all tomorrow evening at sharp 6 p.m. If you have any doubts, if you are going to join early, and there will be a little question answer session before 6 o'clock, maybe 5 minutes early. And if you are going to finish little early, then there will be a 5 minutes question answer session, end of the session. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Be safe. Thank you.